So where do you go in the Nashville market if you want to be outdoors, you still want to have some nightlife and some small town feel, and you want to be near the lakes? Well, you're going to go to Hendersonville or Gallatin. You could go Mount Juliet or Lebanon, but today we're going to talk about Hendersonville and go a little more in depth about Hendersonville. We've talked about it on some other videos, but I definitely want to follow along and get a little more into Hendersonville today. So there's some great places that we're looking at in the Nashville area when we get on these videos, and one of those places is Hendersonville, Tennessee. And today we're going to talk about that. Hendersonville has about 62,000 people in that general area. It is the fourth largest area in the Nashville MSA, Nashville being the largest, then Murfreesboro, Franklin, and then Hendersonville. So you have a lot that Hendersonville offers. So we're going to talk about Hendersonville. We're going to show you some of my favorite places. We're going to get in and out of it and tell you some great things about Hendersonville. Hey, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about a place that I've talked about before. I've done a partner video with my cousin and business associate Susan Thetford on lake life, and we featured Hendersonville. It was one of our first ones. We had some funny bloopers. You ought to check that one out. I've also done a recon video where I was running recon for my client and just kind of featured the area. But today I'm going to talk about Hendersonville by itself. I'm actually going to touch on some things that I think are important, maybe some things that you want to know about, some things that I think people are always asking me about when we're talking about the various areas in Nashville in which to live. So stick with me and stay along, and we're going to talk about Hendersonville, Tennessee. So as an overview, Hendersonville offers a blend of suburban living and access to lake life. So it's known for its safety, its strong economy, and its family-friendly atmosphere. It also has kind of a higher cost of living, and it can experience some extreme weather, but you know, all of Tennessee can, so we're not going to really harp on that. Welcome to Tennessee, where we have a lot of interesting things, and when we get on our one-on-one call, I can talk about that with you. There's a lot of pros about living in Hendersonville, according to niche and according to various people who've lived there. Safety and low crime rates is considered one of the biggest reasons why people have moved to the Hendersonville area. They like that community feel and the options for their families. Young adults love it there too. The outdoorsy areas, the lake life, and then also that low crime rate situation that is so preferable when moving to an area and you don't know about. So there are websites for you to check for that. We recommend you do so, but that is one of the biggest pros about living in the Hendersonville area. It's also known for its strong economy and job opportunities. It is definitely an area that's growing. It's had a lot of commercial renovation in the area, and it's also home to some companies. So it's really a great area to be in, and it has a booming job economy and great opportunities. Another pro is the quality of life that Hendersonville natives boast about. They have a lot of recreational and cultural activities, and everything from lake life to arts to music to fun events. I mean, it's just a great area of Nashville without having to live right in Nashville. You are 18 miles from Nashville, so it's not like it's so far away. You definitely have a lot of people commuting in and out. We'll touch on that because some of that could be considered a con when we get on some of that. But definitely, as far as what it offers, that outdoorsy, wonderful feel that's outside of that urban area, but still has a lot to offer. It's not like you're just going home from the big city and you're out in Mayberry. Hendersonville is a lovely, thriving community. It's family friendly. There are many activities and resources available for your children in that area. There are lots of schools, there are lots of events, there are a lot of offerings for extracurriculars. So those are things that we'll want to talk about too on your one-on-one call about Hendersonville. So Hendersonville is located on the shores of a lake. That's wonderful when you want to go out and kayak, boat, fish, hike around, have access to that life, that lake life, and not have to live right on it. Of course, if you do live right on the lake, you are going to spend a little more money. Hendersonville definitely offers that. It has a very diverse real estate market and offering there. So depending on what your needs are, what your desires are, and what your bank account will allow, we can certainly find something for you, really for everyone in Hendersonville. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about moving to Middle Tennessee and the Nashville area, because Hendersonville just might be that perfect place. Its proximity to Nashville, again, is very, very close. So you do still have those amenities of everything that you want out of that Nashville area. And it is known for its good schools. Again, you'll want to look on greatschools.org for that information. And it certainly has some private and public school offerings in that area. So something that Hendersonville can boast about is multiple school offerings for your children. There's a couple of little cons that people will always mention, and one of those is always traffic. Traffic, when you have a highly populated area outside of a very highly populated area like Nashville, Tennessee, will certainly have its peaks and valleys and good times and bad times in which to drive into and out of those areas. So Hendersonville is no exception. You have about 62 to 68,000 people that live in that area. And so when they're going in your AM drive times into Nashville, you can certainly have some backups and things like that. There are alternate routes into the city and out of that city when leaving for your PM drive time. But that is something that all of Nashville is experiencing. It's major congestion because we've had so many people move to our area because it's wonderful. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm talking about this, and so do you. Learn your routes. We'll talk about that. I certainly have other videos that discuss it. And then on our one-on-one call, we'll discuss where exactly you're going to go for your employment or times of day or things like that, if that's applicable. But that is something that we have to discuss when talking about any area of Nashville, but also Hendersonville. There's some limited shopping and dining. Although Hendersonville has great shopping and dining, you don't have 1,500 different options. However, you are, again, 18 miles outside of the Nashville area. You're close to Gallatin, historic, cute downtown, gracious Gallatin, and you're also close, like I said, to Nashville. So everything that you could want is within just a few miles of where you might want to be and where you live. So Hendersonville, though it might have less dining and shopping, certainly offers a lot of options. So keep that in mind. So one of my favorite places here is Just Love's. Now, there's one in Mount Juliet that's attached to a gas station, but this one is super cute, right in this shopping center, and I love it. So you can eat your mama's cinnamon rolls, and you can turn around and absolutely go work out at D1 training. Great place, right across from the park. Love it. Just Love's coffee shop, right in Hendersonville. I get the avocado toast. It is wonderful. It has feta cheese on it, and they have mama's cinnamon rolls, like I just mentioned. But it's a really cute place right here, right in off of Saundersville Ferry Road, and it is wonderful. This area also has lots of new development, again right across from the park. So commercial, residential, and just a wonderful area right in the Indian Lake area of Hendersonville. It's beautiful. Okay, I'm going to laugh and say that this was considered a con. A large deer population happens to live in Hendersonville. I got to tell you that if that's true, I don't know many people who don't like having deer come across their yard or see them. It's like the oh me moment, you know, but they certainly can be dangerous. You need to be careful. Where you see one, you'll see more. So even though you have a lot of natural wildlife in the area, you'll probably see some turkey and other geese and whatnot. They definitely live out here with us. So I don't think of that as a con, unless of course it causes you to have a car wreck. But if I were a deer or a turkey or a goose, I'd want to live by that lake too. So I don't really think of that as a con, but it can be a dangerous situation. Welcome to Tennessee, where we love our wildlife and we love seeing them in our backyard. Hendersonville is known as the city by the lake, and that body of water is Old Hickory Lake. So many country music stars, if that's something that you need to know, you know, I want to live where the stars live, have chosen Hendersonville as their home. You had the late Johnny Cash, was probably made it very, very famous. Taylor Swift is from there. Roy Orbison was from there. Marty Stewart, I believe, lives up there, but I can't tell you that for sure anymore. I'll tell you that lots of people have chosen Hendersonville as their home because of the down-home feel that it has, because of that lake life, because of the multiple school offerings, because of the absolute beauty of the area, and their lack of desire to want to live right inside that Nashville area. Now, it is a part of Sumner County. It is not Davidson County, but it is considered in the MSA, the statistical area of Nashville. So Hendersonville is still part of our Nashville group. It's living in Middle Tennessee, and it is absolutely a wonderful place. You also have golfing, you have country clubs, you have other offerings as well. So you have both private and public courses. Hendersonville is a lovely area. Hendersonville offers residents a dense suburban feel, and most residents do own their own home, although there are some rental options there, of course. Many families and professionals live in Hendersonville, and its residents tend to be conservative. So if that's something that's appealing to you, that is something that you might want to consider when looking at areas of Nashville. Who is more conservative? Who is not? Do you fit with that bill? Does that make sense for you? I personally like it. I'm very conservative. Hendersonville is the fourth most populous area of the Nashville MSA. So you have Nashville, Murfreesboro, Franklin, then Hendersonville. It was founded by David Smith, whose home was Rock Castle. Rock Castle is on the historic register, and it was started in 1784, and it was completed in 1796, and is maintained as a historic site. So the city is named for William Henderson, the first postmaster. A little sidebar historical fact was that Hendersonville was originally, of course, known for its crops and commodities, which were tobacco and hemp. The hemp was probably used for rope, if you think about it. It was also known for its livestock, cattle and horses. So speaking of those types of properties, there are lots of beautiful horse farms and larger properties there in Hendersonville. I would love to talk to you about that. I'm from a very horsey family. We love land, and we love having the space for our animals. So that's kind of a neat part about Hendersonville that people don't think of because they're so music oriented. And of course it has those guys, but it also has this part too. With the completion of Old Hickory Dam, which was around 1954, Hendersonville really started to develop more rapidly. The lake attraction for sportsmen and people seeking recreation really kind of is how it got started. And then a lot of people found their second home or their summer home in Hendersonville. So that's really kind of how it got developed. But since the late 20th century, it's become the most populous city in Sumner County, of course, and one of the most populous suburbs of the Nashville area, along with Franklin and Murfreesboro, like I said earlier. So Hendersonville really offers a lot. It's rich in history. It's very enchanting. It has multiple types of properties that we can discuss. So, renovated ranches you want to renovate, a historic home that maybe hasn't had the love in a while, or new builds, great big communities with, community clubhouses and gyms and things like that. Lots of new construction, lots of lake life, country club living, private areas. So Hendersonville really has a diverse economic group and offering when it comes to the real estate. Hendersonville, it was announced by the Tennessean in 2021, was voted the 16th best place to live in the country. Now, I think that's pretty impressive. It's another Tennessee town that's certainly been nationally recognized. If you've watched my other videos, you know that there's some other places that have been mentioned in this. Nashville, of course, being that kind of market. Clarksville, Tennessee, having been mentioned as that. Franklin, Tennessee, certainly a joy. Knoxville and Memphis have been noted for different things as well. But Hendersonville is absolutely a little gem outside of Nashville that I think offers an awful lot for people who maybe don't want to live that far south like the Williamson County offering. Maybe they don't want to have or don't need a close proximity to the airport like the Mount Juliet Lebanon offering, but they still like that small town charm, that feel, that closeness to the lakes, that outdoorsy environment, and the and still like a small town feel and option. So Hendersonville actually is very noteworthy. Along with that development of Nashville over the last 5 years and its exciting place to live nationally and considered a safe and wonderful decision as far as booming economy and whatnot when it comes to coming to the Nashville market, Hendersonville certainly is no exception to that. Lots of new construction, big box builders as well as individual local builders have enjoyed seeing an upswing into their product offering. The median home price listing per square foot was $237, and the median sold price is about $525,000. So, you stay within about 93% of your asking price from the list price, according to my data, for the homes in Hendersonville. So that makes it a very good decision. It's certainly seen the nice increase in value and upswing in people coming to the area. So that makes it very, very marketable. The school systems are highly rated. Again, go to greatschools.org. And that has made it a very good decision for a lot of my personal clients and for lots of other people who have come in to the area. If we're considering places to live in the Middle Tennessee area, Sumner County, I've discussed Gallatin and Hendersonville, certainly is a county that you might consider. Your proximity to Nashville is only 18 miles. I've mentioned that before. It's on I-65. Going north from the city, which also takes you to Louisville, Kentucky, and up to Indianapolis and, that route. So you are absolutely in that traffic path, which is very, very congested at certain times of day. But going into Hendersonville, you take 386, which is also known as Vietnam Veterans Parkway. So you have major shopping in those areas, you have malls, you have strip malls, you have the newly developed Indian Lakes area, which is the streets of Indian Lakes and various shopping and dining experiences in that area. It's cute, attractive, brings people in from north and south. You are really getting within about 45 minutes of the state line, 30 minutes even, really. So it's a wonderful place to live, and it's surrounded, blanketed. You've got Sumner County, Davidson County, and Robertson County right there beside you. All very, very pretty areas of the city in which to live. Hendersonville is a place that people come back to too. I've read wonderful responses when people ask, you know, should I live in Hendersonville? People are always saying, I loved it, it was great. You know, people move back to that area. People who were raised in that area tend to stay in that area. That speaks volumes to an area of a state or city that you're choosing or considering living in. When it comes to the new business development of Oracle on that northwest side of Nashville that's going to go on, which is planned huge urban reassignment and development. If you lived in Hendersonville, you could get to that rather quickly. So very, very enticing for what will happen in Nashville's future development and the proximity to some of that for people who live in Hendersonville. So I would anticipate that Hendersonville will continue to do well. It certainly has over my 2 decades of real estate and in the Tennessee area. And frankly, I personally love Hendersonville. I would consider living in Hendersonville. It is an absolutely charming, inviting, good area. People are great people over in Hendersonville. They're not pretentious. They're, you know, I mean, my experience is they're down home, great, warm, gracious, inviting people. Your typical Tennessean. You definitely have other people from other areas in there. My most recent client was from California. I have some others coming from California. I have people who are looking from Colorado in that area. I've had others that considered it heavily that were from the Chicago area. So it has been an inviting area for people thinking about living in Nashville who don't necessarily need to be in Franklin, don't need a certain, you know, proximity to the airport. Although you're not that far, there are different routes to and from the airport. So something we can discuss on our one-on-one. If you like the information that you get on these videos, thank you for following along. Leave your comments below and please like and subscribe to the channel. I definitely want to talk about places that you want to go to. I love to go around and get information about different places in Middle Tennessee, and living in Middle Tennessee is wonderful and has so many options that we just want to touch on these every week and give you some new ideas, whether it's a subdivision of Nashville that maybe you didn't know about, or maybe it's a general suburb of Nashville. Those things are things that we'll talk about one-on-one. So I'm looking forward to talking to you. Can't wait to hear your responses and answer your questions. Thank you so much. See you next time.